Ciudad Norte, a shanty town in Bucaramanga, a city in northern Colombia. Thousands of families live here, thousands of people who fled the misery and insecurity of the countryside. Here, you survive and you die, sometimes violently. We came to Bucaramanga at the end of the 80s. You may remember, many of you were taken aback by these images. Albéiro, a 9-year-old boy, and his friends who decided to come to the aid of the old people living in the neighborhood.
Ciao. Hasta luego, niño, que esté muy bien. Ciao.
The Virgin Mary be with you.
Es que tiene un pelo bonito, ¿no? Parece pelo de gringa. ¿Es cierto, Francisca?
¿Cómo se van las aguas del río?
No, ya rapidito, Sí, pues para mucha gente les parece, les da asco,
Many people are repulsed by the thought of looking after old people.
Pero nosotros los ángeles custodios ya estamos como
Some people can't even bring themselves to shake their grandmother's hand. We don't mind touching them, helping them to wash, cleaning their rooms or feeding them. Every day we bring them lunch.
La vasija, entonces ellos van, se la botan y eso. ¿Qué más, doña María?
Ay, está bueno el baño.
Está bueno el baño, sí ve, decía.
You didn't want to have a wash, did you? But don't you feel a lot better? It must make you feel fresher in this terrible heat.
Ella quedó sumamente quedó ella.
She was totally paralyzed, but little by little she's managing to walk again.
Va caminando, ve. La toalla.
You're lovely, and you smell good.
Ahí le dejé el jabón. Hasta luego, Neolina.
Hasta luego, niño. Que le vaya bien.
With the other children, Albéiro would go from shack to shack. Each day he would bring a little comfort to the elderly of the shanty town. A little comfort and tenderness.
Vive sola y es sorda. Vamos a arreglarle la...
We'll do her dishes and clean her kitchen. Come
No
here.
le hace nada. Pero lo que le hace es tener dolor de cabeza. A ver, venga, Daisy. A ver, cojan.
Conocí a una abuelita de 108 años.
I remember I was very little. It was 3 in the afternoon and I came across a grandmother. She was on the ground and was eating cigarette butts and roots. I told her politely, "Don't eat that."
Y la abuelita me dice llorando, Albéiro.
She looked at me in tears and said, "Albéiro, I'm hungry." I felt something move in my heart. So I went home and secretly stole some food from my family to give to her.
Look, she has to cook these peas for 3 people. She can't waste any. They have to last her for 3 days.
¿Para usted? La viejita quiere un platón en que poder lavar la
A
loza.
basin. Oriana would like a basin to wash her dishes in. She washes them on the floor.
De aluminio y le puede echar la losita para lavar.
I'll find you one.
Vamos a ver cómo le conseguimos, ¿oyó? Sí.
15 years ago, these images moved you, and many of you sent money to Albéiro, donations totaling 800,000 francs. It was a huge sum of money for a group of children. With the money, they created a foundation, the Guardian Angels. Their aim was to build a hospice for the elderly. We've been back to Bucaramanga. Today, Albéiro is 26, he's married and has a daughter. Every morning when he sets out to work, he crosses the shantytown where he grew up.
Estos son ya los barrios de transición.
This is a neighborhood which is changing. It's here where all my old people live. It's a very dangerous area.
Y aquí arriba fue donde me robaron, en Navidad.
Last Christmas, I was handing out presents when 2 boys armed with revolvers held me up and robbed me.
Salieron y pues me robaron allá arriba.
Do people respect you in this neighborhood?
Es gente que llega desplazada por la violencia.
No, we're talking about people who've come from rural areas who've turned to crime and violence due to poverty. They don't know me, but those who know me respect me. That's where I was born, in that apartment with the white railings.
Albéiro grew up here. He was the youngest of 4 children. From an early age, he wanted to study and get a degree.
He'd like to continue his studies, to become a priest, a doctor, or lawyer.
Destiny decided otherwise for Albéiro. His parents were poor. His mother was a nurse in a hospital in the city, and his father worked on building sites. They didn't have the means to offer their son further education. But Albéiro was bright. He showed astonishing maturity for a child of his age.
This northern shanty town has been abandoned, especially the old people have been abandoned here. The area has been abandoned by all institutions. We're increasingly poor here. Just before the elections, local and national politicians like to come here and promise to help and give us material. But when the elections are over, we never see a thing come.
Albéiro did not give up on his old people.
¿Cómo estoy? Bien, papito. Le han dado por todas partes se me entra el agua. Vea, cuando llueve.
There's water everywhere. When it rains, we have to get buckets.
There's a river running under my bed. That's why I want to move. Little Albéiro has helped me to cook and do a lot of other things, and I'm very grateful. And when I'm sick, he brings me something to eat. I dedicate this song to him, Albeirito.
Esta canción a Albeirito porque él es el que me ayuda, es mi rey. Pero el día que yo me muera, vas a tener que llorar. Llorar y llorar. Llorar y llorar, dirás que no me quisiste, pero vas a estar muy triste y así te vas a quedar. Con dinero y sin dinero, hago siempre lo que quiero, pero sigo siendo el rey. Una piedra del camino me enseñó que mi destino era rodar y rodar. Rodar y rodar, rodar y rodar.
Torrents of water run under her bed after every storm because the ground on which her shack was built is subsiding. It's a matter of urgency if she's not to be washed away in the next rains. Albéiro decides to go to the town hall.
The ground is subsiding. It's dangerous because it's on a slope. The house is being held up by one pillar.
Do you live alone?
Yes, all alone.
You need to live somewhere dry?
Why not somewhere lower where there's mains water?
There's no more room. We can install mains water for you up where you are.
You won't remember me.
All you need to say is that you came with Albéiro. A few weeks later, Rosita was rehoused on drier ground, higher up in the shantytown.
Here's my new home. And it's thanks to this young man.
After our report was broadcast, money flowed from France. Albéiro set up a foundation. The governing board gathered once a week, but the board resembled nothing like that of a multinational company. The average age of its members was just 9 years old. one item on the agenda was a problem. The donations from France were not going to be enough to build the hospice.
The donations from the French represent a lot of money for us. But it's not enough to build a house. We would be able to build walls and a roof, but not a kitchen and rooms. And there's not enough to pay staff. We don't have enough money for all that.
Not enough money, but in 1990 the wife of the Colombian president of the time pledged to help. She offered to provide the ground and build the hospice in order that the donations could be used for running costs.
It's here that we plan to build the hospice. Here are the plans for the building work. This is our project. We mustn't lose hope, must we?
Today, his dream has come true. Albéiro has built his hospice, a brand new building named A Little Corner of France, in recognition of all the French donations. 140 old people stay here who would otherwise have been left to die in the shantytown.
So, my little grandmother, are you not happy here? Do you need anything? We give you something to eat, don't we? Her family abandoned her. She'd been mistreated and they hit her, and we found her nearly dying of hunger. But look, we love you. Smile. A lovely smile. These old people have suffered a lot. Their hearts have been broken. The thing that's the most difficult is that they've been abandoned by their families, thrown out onto the streets like bits of rubbish. They've suffered a shock. They bear a grudge. Sometimes they protest about taking a shower, having a meal, or nothing at all. But it's at that moment that we find our vocation, charisma, and patience. Today they're rediscovering a taste for life. Here they find fresh air, tranquility, and life. Look at this grandmother tending to the plants. It's important for her that she feels needed. Look at these grandfathers tending to their sweet corn, yucca, bananas, and onions. Most of them are farmers. They fled the countryside because of war and violence. Here we try to give them a sense of direction to their life. I've always said that although the body ages, the soul should stay young.
Albéiro has thought of everything in the hospice. The infirm are cared for in a room with special hospital beds and undergo regular checkups with doctors and nurses.
Hola, Rosita.
Hello, Rosita. How are you? She's the sickest person here. She's an invalid, bedridden all day long. She's 91.
91 años tiene.
Is she handicapped?
Yes, she's handicapped. She can't walk anymore, but she accepts her condition. She's an example of courage.
Do doctors tend to her?
Yes, a doctor and nurses look after her. We've known each other for a long time. We're like father and son or brothers. There's a lot of respect and gratitude between us. But they know how and when to differentiate between the director and their friend.
A doctor, a friend, but also a son or a grandson who accompanies the elderly right to their final hours. But he also knows when to intervene when there's a problem.
What's going on? Who hit who?
It's her. She started it.
You shouldn't fight. There are a couple who often fight because of jealousy. He looks at other women.
Hay celos entre ellos. Entonces están siempre peleando porque el uno la mira, el otro no la mira. Son novios. Pero ella sabe que...
And what do you think of all this? Is it right that they fight? No, so stop your fighting.
¿Es bueno que peleen?
No.
Que no pueden pelear.
Are there couples here?
Yes, about 4 or 5.
¿Qué novios?
Mercedes is one of Albéiro's oldest protégées. Before meeting the little angel, she suffered a major depression. She had no support.
I'm here because I was on the streets. I drank a lot and he brought me here. Since then, I've changed a lot. I've become someone. I'm very happy here, and I want to die here. I've nowhere else to go. All my sons have abandoned me. I'm all alone here.
Have you known Albéiro for a long time?
Albéiro was very young when I met him. He was barely 8 years old. Now he's like a father to us all.
Before the hospice existed, Albéiro invited the elderly to his home. He gave them a hot meal and comforted them. Mercedes was often among those invited. Albéiro's mother did the cooking.
My house is a bit like the soup kitchen's Resto de Cœur in France. We help everyone in need. Only here, there's not much to eat.
Sometimes after the meal, clothes were handed out. On this particular day, Jesuit fathers had bought a box full.
I'd like to have a little blouse.
A few days earlier, they'd received a donation of sportswear.
A good kick, and we're off.
Not only does Albéiro make the elderly happy, he also takes care of the youngsters in the neighbourhood. We visited him when he was 19. Many children from the shanty town had come to help him. In exchange, he helped them with their education.
If someone has a problem, you need to let me know, because you have 2 months to make up for it. Tell me, Sophia, where are you at?
Not good.
I was courageous and there was no problem.
Not a single one? I just want to remind you about something. When we're with the elderly, we respect them and take part in their activities. We help them and play with them and keep in touch with them. Be strong. You're the guardian angels and your mission is to pamper people, respect them and love them, especially to give and sow lots of love.
Albéiro's dearest wish is that his work inspires people throughout the country to do the same.
I would like to see many Albéiros and Albéiras and what we've managed to do here spreading throughout Colombia. Every youngster, everyone has a father and mother. Sadly, as parents age, people can't be bothered to look after them. They know they need help, but they do nothing to help them. So when they see other children looking after them, only at that point do they ask themselves, why aren't we doing that? We sow doubt in their hearts.
Green revuelta en llamaradas, ni a la sangre te estoy nombrando. Trepo la sierra con luna, cruzo los valles nevando. 100 caminos anduvimos, y a la sangre te estoy nombrando.
Hey John, you've come back to see us.
John is 12. Some time ago he was one of the guardian angels, but one day Albéiro banned him from the foundation because he'd been skipping school and was taking drugs. But now, in desperation, his mother has brought him back to Albéiro.
I didn't know who to turn to. I don't want my son to go astray. I don't want him hanging around the streets. It's dangerous.
Do you know what the main condition is for being a guardian angel? It's that you go to school. You're gifted and it's a shame not to take advantage of it. You could become a lawyer or a doctor, and we'd call you Dr. John Martinez, and not Martinez the drug dealer.
El que fue ángel custodio, qué tristeza, ¿no es cierto? ¿Sí ve la gran diferencia que hay de doctor?
Do you know the difference between a doctor and a drug dealer? Do you promise to make an effort?
¿Sí?
Do you think you'll manage?
Bueno, y de pronto piensan que va a pasar, que puede pasar.
I'll try.
Pero puede.
You don't think so? Yes?
No, pero usted puede pasar. Si usted pone su parte.
You can. Tell yourself with strength and love and you'll manage.
Demuestra a su mamá que usted es capaz.
Show your mother and yourself that you're capable.
¿Listo? Yo le doy la oportunidad y usted también se da una.
I'm going to give you another chance.
Y es para su vida. ¿De acuerdo? Entonces, mijo, mañana.
Tomorrow go back to school and we'll tell the others that you were sick or that you were on holiday.
Enfermo, diga que estaba viajando o alguna cosa y listo.
The next day, John went back to school. Today, a new generation of children has taken over. Every day after school, they come to work for Albéiro. In exchange, he pays for their school stationery.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo le va? Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está, Neto? ¿Bien? ¿Cómo la ha pasado? ¿Muy bien?
Daniel is 13. He's one of the most devoted. For 2 years, he's been coming to the hospice every afternoon. Like Albéiro, he's decided to dedicate his life to the people of the shantytown.
Daniel, do you always greet the elderly like that?
Yes, sir, I like to do it like that. For them, it's a sign of love and welcome. They're happy to see that we've come to give them some tenderness.
Hola.
Look who's come with his little curly hair.
Buenas tardes. Hola, mi Monpirris.
Hola, mi Monpirri.
Eso.
Do you know who it is, Mercedes?
Yes, what's your name again? He's so mad that I don't remember his name. Danielito. It's a shame he's already got a girlfriend.
Zorrito a morir.
What do you think about him?
He's very smart. Sometimes we call him the little parrot, because he's a little mad, but he's a good boy. I want to take him in my arms.
Hola, don Jaimito.
Buenos tardes, amiguitos, ¿cómo están?
Not only do the little guardian angels bring a little comfort to the old, the programme for this afternoon includes some physical exercise.
Buenas tardes, amiguitos, ¿cómo están? Bueno.
Going back a bit, it was Albéiro who started it. He was the first to organise exercise classes.
Hands on the hips. To the left, to the right. 1, 2.
Los pies tiesos, solo la cadera. 3, más rápido.
1, 2, 3.
Today the lesson is a bit more serious. It's been put together with the help of doctors to improve the suppleness of bodies weary from life.
Hacia atrás. Eso. 1,
8, para el otro lado, para el otro lado.
The other side now.
Eso, para el otro lado. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ahora con otras estrellas.
Now do the stars. They have to move their hands. If they stop, their hands will be stiff, so they need to move.
Si les quedan así, no las pueden moverse. Ábralas.
Open, close. Open, close.
Daniel, do you think they like this?
Yes, sir, I think they know it's good for them.
¿Cómo está? ¿Bien? Eliezer.
Are you all right, Eliseo? Do you feel okay?
Daniel, is it not difficult?
No, I'm used to them now. And feel able to make them move. They really trust us.
It's important to see that love knows no bounds, no age. It's a demonstration of tenderness and love. Old age is not an illness, and being young is an opportunity to bring generations together. We have the two worlds, the child at the start of life and the elderly at the end. By making them self-sufficient and by helping them, the youngsters can achieve a lot. They work with tenderness and a lot of respect. That's important, and particularly they work with humanity and professionalism. I think that we will manage to do a lot for them.
Yo creo que van a lograr hacer muchas cosas por ellos, por la vida y por el mundo.
After the gym lesson, each child tells a story to the person they look after.
There's joy and peace. There are also lovely flowers and colourful butterflies. Next to them, two birds are singing. 2 woodpeckers busy in the tree building their nest. And you're looking at this beautiful landscape that God gave us.
The day doesn't end here for the little angels. At the end of the afternoon, Daniel and his friends go on a tour of the shanty town. They take food to all the elderly who are not lucky enough to have a place in the hospice. Years ago, it was Albéiro who did the rounds, starting out with a 3/4 of an hour bus ride to get into the city centre.
By 3 in the afternoon, some of the elderly start to panic when they've still not had anything to eat.
The shopkeepers of Bucaramanga knew Albéiro well. For him, everything was free, and they gave what they could.
come to collect some rice and lots of bread and anything else you may have for my little old people. Can I leave the cake for tomorrow?
This baker was one of the most generous. Each day she gave him the bread he needed. But it wasn't always easy. After the shopkeepers, he headed to the market. Here, Albéiro recovered rotten vegetables that even the poor didn't want to buy. It was the only solution in order that those he'd taken under his wing didn't die of hunger.
You don't want to give me the little lettuce, do you? No?
Daniel and his friends have taken over. In these deprived neighborhoods, it's sometimes dangerous to wander around with provisions in your hands, even when you're a little guardian angel. Mercedes acts as a bodyguard.
It's a poor area and you need to pay attention. It's an area full of delinquents, thieves and murderers, so you need to take care. I lived here for 25 years. I moved from flat to flat, moving all the time, until I couldn't pay the rent anymore, so then I wandered the streets.
Are you not afraid to come here, Daniel?
Yes, I'm scared. We can be stripped of everything. This area has a reputation for being dangerous.
You do what you can here to protect yourself. Sometimes you have to be a little clever.
I'm carrying a walkie-talkie, but in fact it's really a radio.
Why do you carry it with you?
Because people think it's a walkie-talkie. When thieves come, I make out to be calling the police. Like this, thieves don't rob me. On several occasions they've tried to attack me, but in the end done nothing. For example, down there a man pulled a gun on me. I asked him what he wanted. I took my walkie-talkie out of my bag and began talking to the police. Hello, are you coming or not? Then the robber said, leave it. I told him the police were coming immediately. He got scared. He thought the police were really coming. He threatened me with his gun, then threw it on the ground and fled. In the end, he did nothing to me, only with this. I always take it with me.
Daniel always starts his rounds at 91-year-old Lourdes' house.
Hello, how are you? What are you up to? Are you resting? Here's your package.
Lourdes lives alone. Her children left Bucaramanga a long time ago. Since her latest fall, she never wanders far from her bed.
What do you do for food?
It's my neighbours or Albéiro who give me some food. I eat a little bread. That's all I eat in the day.
Look at what we've brought you. Eggs, flour, chocolate, rice, and salt.
Did you have anything left to eat?
No, I had nothing left. I was waiting for someone to bring me something.
You know that you can always come to the foundation, and we'll give you breakfast, lunch, or even an evening meal. Or even a roof over your head.
Do you like the youngsters' visits?
Yes, I love them.
What do you get from their visits?
Lots of love and joy. I'm sad when I'm alone, and I'm left alone all of the time.
Are you aware of the happiness she feels?
Sí, soy consciente. Porque sí.
Yes, I'm happy because I give her tenderness and she trusts me.
Sí, mucho aportarme cariño y me siento contento porque ella me aporta cariño, me da su confianza.
I also feel she likes me and lots of other things.
Muchas cosas.
Is there love between you?
Claro.
Yes, I feel a great deal of love. They come to see me and I consider them part of my family.
During this time, the elderly have been set to work at the hospice. They have to do several hours a day. Albéiro refuses that they become totally assisted. They have to work in order that the hospice can survive. The paper that they're ripping up will be recycled.
How are you getting on with the paper? Okay?
Do you like working?
Yes, I like doing this. It's good for my health, my hands. We feel useful. What's more, we work together.
We don't get any money, but we're fed and lodged. We're given clothes. We're well looked after here.
We have everything we need.
¿Se sienten bien cuidados aquí?
Pues sí, claro que sí.
On his return to the hospice, Daniel comes to help out with the paper making.
Danielle, could you help Maria carry the paper, please?
Entonces, doña Rosa María, los ganchos. ¿Ya están los ganchos abajo? Para que miren aquí. Por favor, con ella. Ahorita vayan y pónganla.
Hold that carefully and take it over there.
Albéiro believes the guardian angels must set an example.
Lleven las tablas. Rosa María de un lado, la otra del otro. Y lo llevan y los cuelgan allá con cuidadito, ¿no? Sí, señor. Sin dañar las ollas, por favor.
Certain values are extremely important to him.
Puntualidad, responsabilidad.
You need to be on time and responsible. Sometimes they arrive late or they've forgotten what they had to do. You always need to be behind them. But it's normal, they're children and we've all been through the same stage.
Are any undisciplined?
No, they're very well behaved.
It's not only the young who need discipline, it's the same for all those staying in the hospice. Mercedes knows particularly about it. Despite all the affection Albéiro has for her, he's had to sanction her.
Let's see, did Yolanda come and help us yesterday?
It was with Yolanda that Mercedes had an argument.
Do you often argue?
With her, yes, because she likes to talk badly of the other old people.
And sometimes she fights with the others?
Yes, she punches them.
Me? Never. Only with him.
Why?
Because I love him a lot and they take him away from me.
Are you jealous?
I'm jealous when his attention is turned to others.
How do you deal with these situations?
There's a rule. If anyone does anything bad, they can be suspended for several days.
That's the punishment?
We send them back home or to another institution.
Is it definitive?
No, it's only for a while. Then they can come back.
The first time it's 8 days, then 15, and then afterwards you're out on your ear.
Have you been punished before?
Oh yes, just once.
What happened?
We were working and Yolanda, who likes a drink, came to tell me off, although she's just a colleague. I don't like that. And I told her it's not up to you to tell me off. Only Albéiro can tell me what to do and how to work. She said I was nothing other than a drug dealer. So I took out a knife.
No, it was a pair of scissors.
I can't remember. I did something with the knife. Then we were split up, otherwise we would have fought. But it was me who was punished, and she stayed here. Do you know what I disliked most about it was that she could stay.
She was punished too.
No, I was punished for 8 days and she only had 2. It's not fair. Things should be done according to the rules.
Move now, we need to do the paper.
No, let me speak.
Buenos días para todos.
In the room next door, another workshop is underway, this time making jewelry.
Y Rafael. Y yo, Linda, es que a Jaimito, ¿no, Linda? Oh, eso no me le pega al perro, ¿no? ¿Y Rafael qué está haciendo, Rafael? Un collar para la novia.
What are you making, Rafael? Rosary beads? Or is it a necklace for your girlfriend? You've got a girlfriend, haven't you? How many beads are you going to use?
100.
Tiene el pescuezo muy grande la novia, ¿no?
My goodness, your girlfriend has a big neck.
Muy grande el pescuezo.
Ay, el novio. Mire, acá todo esto. Acá las tarjetitas.
Look, here we make postcards, rosary beads. In fact, we work a lot.
Porque yo no sabía hacer nada.
Beforehand, I knew nothing other than how to drink.
Aburrida de la vida.
Life disgusted me. I was going to kill myself.
Y mire, él me trajo acá. Estoy feliz.
But since they brought me here, I'm very happy.
Ahora me encuentro feliz aquí con Albéiro.
¿Qué más hacen ahí? ¿Esto quién lo hace hacer?
All the elderly have learnt to make postcards. If they throw me out, at least I would know how to do that, and I would sell them in the streets.
Their work is a vital source of income for the hospice, but sales need to be increased. Every month, money has to be found to pay the hospice staff, doctors and nurses. Over the years, the little angel has turned into the head of a company.
It's a bit complicated. I have various ideas, but sometimes I question myself as I'm not a professional. The main thing is to make a good profit and a good result for the foundation. It's very interesting and I'm learning a lot. You learn a lot, particularly about the commercial side of things. I've been signed up to the University of Life now for several years.
And now you're a businessman.
I understand the social side of things better, but you need to know a little bit of everything. If you're going to ask things of others, you have to learn about them yourself first.
Buenos días. Buenos días.
This morning, Albéiro has a meeting with some salespeople who are going to suggest new things to produce. On the table is a selection of the objects made by the elderly and already being sold around the world, in Britain, in the United States and in France. But they need to find new clients.
tarjeta de mensajes sociales.
Por ejemplo, ¿qué nos pedían en
For
Francia?
example, in France last year, they asked us for a box of 8 cards.
6 tarjetas o 12 tarjetas donde lleve
2 for Mother's Day, 2 for funerals, 2 for birthdays, and 2 for Christmas, etc.,
para
etc.
Navidad. ¿Sí?
This box sold quicker because there's more variety.
Es vendible y es muy fácil porque la gente compra es una diversidad de
The
tarjetas.
French don't buy individual cards, they prefer a box with several themes.
Compra es un kit de diferentes motivos. Y aquí en Bucaramanga también hay gente que lo ha pedido. ¿Sí?
Do you have a lot of requests from France?
Tenemos contactos con los amigos de Francia.
We have contacts with friends in France and retirement homes.
Ideas también de qué le podría gustar.
They give us ideas about what they
No solo hay
like.
tarjetas de Navidad en Francia.
We want to show them that we work here and that not only can they help us with donations, but also by buying our
Estamos
products.
trabajando y que nos pueden no dar limosna, sino apoyar en la compra de los productos.
Is France a good client?
Yo creo que sí. En Francia hemos mandado 2.000 docenas de tarjetas.
I think so. We've sold them 24,000 cards, and little by little we hope to sell other things.
Vendiendo poco a poco y esperamos para este año poder también mandar otros productos.
After the sales meeting, to the bank. Albéiro has come to deposit 2,000 euros into the hospice account. The little angel has been known here for a long time.
Bueno, permiso.
How long have you known Albéiro?
Conozco Albéiro desde cuando le llegó
I remember the first time very well. It was after his first trip to France. He was 9.
Tenía 9 años.
At the time, Albéiro stood out in the queue.
This morning, a lady came to pay this bill, but she was a bit short. I've come to pay the rest.
Para nosotros fue una sorpresa muy
It was a
especial.
total surprise for us to see someone from Bucaramanga who was so young, but also so natural and so resourceful.
Tan natural, que por su pura intuición.
What's more, he had a real passion for helping the elderly in the northern neighborhoods.
Apoyo a los abuelos más desfavorecidos. Eso para nosotros.
It was very noble, and we decided at that moment to support him.
Empezamos a apoyarlo y él la condicionó para.
How did you feel about all the money?
Bueno, pues yo era niño y todavía no podía.
I was so small that I never imagined for a minute that I was carrying all that money.
Por eso, pues aquí en el banco, yo creo que.
I must have been the first child in the neighborhood, even in the whole country, to deposit a check of 30 million pesos.
De pesos. Y con eso compramos.
With that money, we bought a hospice for the elderly.
Creo que ha sido una historia.
It's a success story that's been going on for years now.
Se ha visto el trabajo y el compromiso.
Thanks to transparency and dedication, we've been able to make old people happy with this money. I think that's our biggest success.
Esta obra es como le hemos dado buen uso a los dineros.
Just a few years, with a lot of love and goodwill, Albéiro has brought a lot of happiness to his old people. Today, he's beginning to look back at what he's achieved.
Are you happy with how the hospice has turned out?
Today I'm very happy, because you can see that everything's well organized. We can see the outcome of our work with the old. You see their joy and enthusiasm.
And when you think of how you started...
Today it's a different emotion. Today it's a more controlled emotion, but we've achieved very positive results.
In recent years, Albéiro has begun a second love story with his wife Claudia and his daughter Paulina.
We got married 4 years ago, and my daughter will soon be 3. Since then, I've taken enormous pleasure in sharing the other part of my life with them. The problems with the foundation and sadness that you can sometimes feel can be forgotten with the joy of my daughter and support of Claudia.
Do you feel satisfied at the end of the day?
Yes, I've made many of my dreams come true. And having a wife and a child is one more.
Como una cinta de fuego, galopando, galopando, crin revuelta en llamaradas, mi alazán, te estoy nombrando.
A couple of years ago, Albéiro, the little Colombian, was shortlisted to receive the Nobel Peace Prize.
Cruzo los valles nevando, 100 caminos anduvimos.
The little angel has grown up, but he still has a lot more love to give.
Qué oscuro lazo de nieve te pialó junto al barranco. ¿Cómo fue que no lo viste? ¿Qué estrella estabas buscando? En el fondo del abismo, ni una voz para nombrar.